It was a little after midnight when the first call came. The house sat on the edge of town, wrapped in silence except for the rhythmic ticking of an old grandfather clock. Inside, Claire Jennings was reading on the couch, half asleep, when the phone shattered the quiet. The sound was sharp, almost metallic, echoing down the hallway like it came from another time. She reached for the receiver, heart beating faster than she wanted to admit. Hello? Static. A faint hum. Then a whisper, low, drawn out, almost like someone testing her name. ... Claire. ... Her breath caught. She waited, but the voice didn't speak again. The line went dead. Just a click, then silence. She exhaled, uneasy, but convincing herself it was some prank call or crossed connection. It was, after all, an old landline, the kind her husband refused to replace because, as he said, it's got character. But then, 5 minutes later, it rang again. This time the tone felt heavier, like the sound itself carried weight. Claire hesitated before picking it up. The same static greeted her, followed by that same whisper. Only now it wasn't saying her name. It said, asterisk, you shouldn't have answered. Asterisk, her hand trembled. The line cut again. She unplugged the phone, heart racing, and sat staring at the dead receiver in her lap. The house was silent once more, but something had shifted, an invisible tension, like the air had thickened. Upstairs, a door creaked open on its own. She froze. The clock struck 1, and from somewhere inside the walls, a faint tapping began, slow, deliberate, like someone gently knocking ... from within. The next morning, Claire tried to laugh it off. She told her husband, Mark, that the call must have been a crossed signal or some kid pulling a prank. Mark chuckled, kissed her on the forehead, and left for work, telling her to ignore ghost telemarketers. But that night, when the phone rang again, Mark was the one who answered. Hello? He said. The voice on the other end was faint but clear. A woman's voice, trembling, urgent. Please ... Don't hang up. You have to help me. They called the wrong house. Mark frowned. Who is this? The woman sobbed. It's coming through your walls. Don't let it in. Then a scream. Piercing, cut short, and the line went dead. Claire covered her mouth, staring at Mark in horror. He slowly hung up the phone. It sounded like she was right here, he whispered. They stood still, listening. And then came that sound again, asterisk, tap ... tap ... asterisk, from the walls. The same rhythm as the night before, only louder, closer. Mark pressed his ear to the wall. The tapping stopped. For a heartbeat, there was nothing. Then, right by his ear, a whisper, the same voice from the phone. Asterisk, wrong house ... double quotes, asterisk. He stumbled back, pale as paper. The lights flickered. That night, neither of them slept. It was 3:11 a.m. when the doorbell rang. Claire and Mark, half awake, stared at each other in disbelief. Nobody visited them this late, especially not out here, miles from town. Mark grabbed a flashlight and peered through the peephole. At first, he saw nothing but darkness. Then the beam caught something, a figure standing on the porch, still as stone. It was a woman. Her clothes were soaked, her hair hanging over her face, dripping onto the wooden boards. Mark opened the door just a crack. Ma'am, are you okay? The woman slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were wide, glassy, like she wasn't really looking asterisk at asterisk him, but through him. They called the wrong house, she whispered. Before Mark could respond, she turned and walked down the steps, disappearing into the night fog. He ran outside, shouting after her, but she was gone. Not a footprint, not a sound. Just the wind through the trees. When he came back in, Claire was standing frozen by the phone. It was ringing again. Don't answer it, he said. But it kept ringing, louder, shriller, each tone digging into their nerves. Claire couldn't take it. She picked up. "Hello?" The voice on the other end was Asterisk, her own. "Asterisk, why did you open the door, Claire?" She screamed and dropped the phone. The line clicked. The power went out. They lit candles and sat in the living room, terrified to move. The air felt colder, heavier. Every creak of the floorboards sounded like footsteps. Mark went to check the fuse box, muttering that there had to be some rational explanation. But as soon as he reached the basement door, a whisper drifted out, quiet, childlike, coming from behind it. "Help us." He froze. Claire ran to him, shaking. "Don't open it," she said. But Mark was stubborn. He opened the door and descended the stairs. The basement was empty. Just boxes and dust. Then his flashlight flickered, and in that stuttering light, he saw it. Faint handprints on the concrete wall, small, smeared, and asterisk fresh dot asterisk. He reached out, and the wall beneath his fingers felt warm. Then, a voice right behind him. "Do you hear it too?" He spun around. No one there. Upstairs, Claire heard his scream. When she rushed down, he was gone. The flashlight lay on the floor, still on, casting a weak beam over the wall, where a single phrase had been written in what looked like rust. Asterisk, asterisk. You shouldn't have answered. Asterisk, asterisk. By morning, Mark still hadn't returned. Claire called the police, but they found nothing. No sign of him. No footprints in or out of the basement. Just that wall, perfectly smooth, no writing anymore. That night, she sat by the phone, unable to stop staring at it. The silence was unbearable. When it finally rang, she answered, desperate, hoping it was Mark. Mark? But it wasn't him. It was asterisk, the number itself. Asterisk, the caller ID, showed her own home phone number. Static filled her ear, followed by the sound of breathing. Deep, uneven, close. Then she heard his voice. Claire ... I'm here. I can see you. She dropped the phone, gasping, and spun around, but no one was there. Then she noticed something new. The faint sound of tapping again, only this time it came from asterisk inside the phone. Asterisk, it grew louder and louder until the plastic casing cracked. She screamed, throwing it against the wall. And when it hit, it didn't shatter. It asterisk bled ... asterisk. Dark liquid seeped out from the cracks, dripping onto the floor. Claire backed away, trembling, whispering Mark's name over and over until her voice broke. Then, from somewhere deep in the walls, a voice whispered back, asterisk, wrong house. Asterisk days blurred together. Claire barely ate or slept. The police came once, looked around, and left, dismissing her story as shock. But every night, the tapping returned. Every night, the whispers grew louder, more human. One evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, she noticed something strange. Old family photos on the mantel had changed. Faces were missing. Her husband's eyes were blacked out. She called out his name, but only the house answered, groaning, shifting, asterisk breathing. Asterisk, the walls pulsed faintly, like veins under skin. She ran outside, desperate for air, but even the yard felt wrong. The trees leaned inward, the air humming with low static. She realized then, the signal wasn't just on the phone. The house itself was the receiver. When she went back in, the phone was ringing again. Except this time, every phone in the house was ringing. The kitchen, the bedroom, even the disconnected line in the basement. All ringing in perfect unison. She answered one. What do you want from me? She screamed. A chorus of voices replied, dozens, hundreds, all whispering in the same breath. Asterisk, you answered for us. Asterisk, when the police finally came again, it was because the neighbors had complained of non-stop ringing for 3 straight days. They broke in and found the phone still active, cords humming, Receivers scattered across the floor. The house was empty. No sign of Claire. But in the basement, carved into the wall, they found a new message, written deep into the concrete as if by nails. Asterisk, asterisk. They called the wrong house. Now it's yours. Asterisk, asterisk. One of the officers picked up a phone lying nearby. It was off the hook, yet faintly buzzing. He raised it to his ear. Hello? Static. Then a voice. Asterisk, you shouldn't have answered. Asterisk, the officer dropped the phone, but it kept ringing, again and again, as if the house refused to let the call end. To this day, no one lives there. The line has been officially disconnected, but every few months, the phone company gets the same complaint from nearby homes. A strange echoing ring at midnight. And if you listen closely, really closely, you can almost hear someone whisper your name. Before the line goes dead,